Hey everybody, welcome to TIW Podcast. I'm Eric, and today I watched WWE SmackDown Live episode 1033 and 205 Live episode 132, both broadcast on June 4th, 2019. Also, on this day, I went and saw Godzilla King of the Monsters, and I really liked it. It was awesome. Is better than the previous Godzilla. I liked it a lot more than Kong Skull Island. And I actually completely forgot that was part of this cinematic universe, the Monsterverse. And yeah, I'm really excited for what's to come. I don't. It's kind of a spoiler, but not really. If you know what movie is coming next, it's been announced that they're working on Kong versus Godzilla, or Godzilla versus Kong, whatever order they're in. Whoever gets the top billing there, and it does get teased a little bit throughout the movie. Like Kong is mentioned a few times, and Skull Island is mentioned. But then in the end credits, we get like newspaper clippings about Skull Island and Kong, and like an ancient painting of Godzilla facing off with Kong. It's some cool stuff. But the movie itself, all of the monsters are so cool. They're called Titans as opposed to Kaiju. But I'm fine with that. They're still cool. We got Mothra in there. We got Rodan. All this might be spoiled. I think you see Mothra in some of the trailers. But it's really worth checking out, especially if you can see it on IMAX. I saw it on IMAX. Whoo boy, it's really cool to see on a really big screen with really good sound. Go check it out. Godzilla, King of the Monsters. All right, SmackDown and 205 Live. Yeah, they're all right. Okay, that's it. Thanks for listening. No, just kidding. 205 Live was very good. But I'll get to that. SmackDown was kind of iffy. It was the go home show for Super Showdown, so there's a lot of stuff that they have to be addressing for that going into it. But we did get a little bit of stuff leading us to Stomping Ground, which is in about 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, something like that. Particularly the women's division stuff, and that was kind of wonky as well, but I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. I was wondering, because I saw on Alexa Bliss's Instagram that she had landed in Germany. I was thinking, like, why would she be going to Germany when the next there aren't any women's matches billed for Super Showdown. They haven't been allowed on the shows before. And they're not doing like an overseas tour as part of this. It's kind of weird that she has a layover in Germany. But then I saw later on that her and Natalia are going there in the hopes that they might be able to have an actual match on the show. And if they can, then that's really great for them. And it doesn't make the whole Saudi Arabia thing better at all, the whole situation and stuff, but it would be cool to see that it, at least as far as the performers go, it's like, I mean, it's like a small step forward, but the conversation online is like, oh, it's a really low bar to surpass. Just because it's a really low bar to surpass doesn't mean that you should just not try to surpass that really low bar, right? Like, I don't know. Try to be positive about it a little bit, I think. But anyway, let's get back to the show that occurred on the 4th. Kofi Kingston, we got some Ghana visit highlights. That was really cool. And then Dolph comes out and says, "What about me?" and shows some highlights of him. And I was kind of thinking, well, I'm pretty sure Dolph has been back to where he was born, his hometown, his home state, like in the last 6 months probably. Whereas Kofi, he hasn't been back there for what did he say? It's like 26 years he hasn't been back there. It's kind of different there, Dolph. No, he wasn't. He wasn't talking about visiting his hometown being the "what about me" thing, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that Dolph Ziggler has been to Cleveland with a championship to celebrate there. But anyway, we end up with a tag team match: Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Sami being the first of like 18 different wild cards that appeared from Raw in this episode. And I should just, I'm not even gonna bother keeping track anymore. Maybe it'll be a little bit more. I am hoping that after Super Showdown things get a little bit more focused and on track to stuff that like that the American audience wants to see, or the worldwide audience in general wants to see, not just what the royal family of Saudi Arabia wants to see. Anyway, Kofi pins Sami Zayn, and then Dolph attacks afterwards. So there we go. We're gonna have Dolph Ziggler versus Kofi Kingston. That match is still happening over there at Super Showdown, and I think Kofi will win that. Moment of Bliss, special appearance by Alexa Bliss. She keeps waiting for her coffee instead of conducting an interview. It is pretty funny. And it's announced that later in the night we'll have a triple threat match to determine who will fight Bayley for her championship at Stomping Ground. And that match is a triple threat between Carmella, Alexa Bliss, and Charlotte Flair. Interesting. Interesting. We'll get to that in a second. R-Truth backstage is trying to get a hold of Shane McMahon. It turns out he has been using Carmella's phone. And Shane has an official match for the 24/7 championship, and it's right now against Elias. It's R-Truth versus Elias in a lumberjack match, which is like whoever wins that, they're in big trouble, because then they can just go right after the new champion, or whoever is champion. Elias wins, and exactly that happens. The lumberjacks converge upon Elias, but he sneaks away and ends up nose to nose, crawling on the ground with R-Truth, and he chases him underneath. This is the best moment of the entire week so far. R-Truth crawls after him underneath the mat. Referee crawls under there too, and we see the chaos unfolding above the ring. So this served as like a preview of the 50-man battle royal, which is going to be ridiculous at Super Showdown. But you can hear the 1, 2, 3, and then the referee crawls back out, and then the bell rings, and the commentary is like, wait, why did the bell ring? What's going on? And R-Truth is champion again. Four-time 24/7 champion. And he makes his escape. I think, was Carmella there at the time? I think he just booked it. So yeah, that was really fun that we had a match happening right underneath this big brouhaha. And then is later posted on social media the footage of what happened underneath the ring. And he's slammed his face right into a chair that was under there. It's some good stuff. So I don't even want to talk about the rest of this stuff. Shane and the Rival, they're out there, and then Roman, and then Drew attacks. That stuff happens, whatever. Then the triple threat, Carmella versus Alexa versus Charlotte. During this match, Sonya and Mandy come out, and they provide a little bit of a distraction, and ultimately, a figure 8 leg lock applied by Charlotte to Carmella was broken by a Twisted Bliss. That was really awesome. And then Sonya and Mandy, they were messing around. They tripped up Carmella, and that got Charlotte distracted. Alexa hits Charlotte with a DDT and gets the win. So it'll be Bayley versus Alexa for the SmackDown Championship on at Stomping Ground. And this is what I think is happening, is that Charlotte and Alexa will win the Raw Championship and the SmackDown Championship, like of the opposite show that they're supposed to be on, and that's how we get them onto. Because I think maybe, oh, I don't even know. I'm not trying to figure this out. Alexa and Nikki together has been really great. And if this means Alexa is going over to SmackDown and Charlotte is going to move over to Raw, I could see that happening, but that kind of ruins the good stuff that's going on with Nikki. So I don't know. I am very happy that Alexa is cleared to wrestle now. And seeing her do some stuff, because we saw her pull off some moves on Monday. I was like, oh, that's awesome. And then she's in an actual match. It's like, oh, that's even more awesome. So yes, I do wish that a bunch of the women's roster on SmackDown were even on the show at all. But on the other hand, I am happy that Alexa Bliss is able to wrestle. Because that's good news, I think. So speaking of good news, I'll skip the next segment. It was not worth talking about, I don't think. We had Andrade versus Apollo about to happen, but then Andrade attacked Apollo before the bell, and then Finn came out to Apollo's rescue, and to just get a little bit of a preview for the Intercontinental Championship match that will happen at Super Showdown. I think Finn will win because he's going to be the demon. So, yeah. An annoying thing, looking on Reddit, a discussion on Reddit for me was like so many people like, I don't remember who the Intercontinental Champion is right now. Like, oh, is that still happening? Andrade versus Finn? And it's like, if you had watched tonight, you'd see that they had just appeared and they were continuing the story going into that. And it's like, I feel like it's, I don't know. I guess if you're not paying attention, then you're going to miss that stuff. But if you know that you were not paying attention to a lot of stuff, then I'd say don't go about saying like, hey, don't even show, they haven't even mentioned this and that and this and that. Well, you missed it because you were paying attention, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I don't respond. I get the urge to respond like, they were literally on TV like 20 minutes ago, setting up this feud, continuing the story into this match. Were you paying attention? Reddit. Anyway, we have Goldberg come out. He's saying he left the family man at home, and that Undertaker will be you're next to rest in peace. And then the Undertaker arrives for a brief moment with the lights going out and then going back on again, and going out and then back on again. And he's gone. And Goldberg has a chuckle. He has a right chuckle about it. So that match is happening, and I don't know. I guess Goldberg wins. Whatever. I don't know. I'm probably, if I do watch this as it airs, it'll be on mute, and I'll have it like off to the side playing while I'm at the convention. Hopefully working on commission pieces and things like that. But I do kind of want to have that on so I can keep an eye on if the women's match actually does happen, because it would be really cool if it does. So that's like the main thing that I'll be looking out for that, and to see how the hell a 50-man battle royal is going to work. What? It's still so ridiculous. Okay, on to 205 Live. Go and watch this episode. I don't have specifics written down about this. It was originally going to open up with Akira Tozawa versus Noam Dar, but Drew Gulak makes his 205 Live return and attacks Dar. Drake Maverick comes out. Just make this match. It'll be Tozawa versus Gulak. Killer match between these two. I always love Akira Tozawa, and I always love Drew Gulak in the ring. So absolutely worth checking out just for this match. We also had Oni Lorcan versus Daivari. Arya Daivari. Oni won that match. Drew Gulak won the first match. I kind of feel like these two should have been flipped. Especially because it seemed like Tozawa versus Dar was kind of de facto. Is that the right? It was more or less like a contenders, like whoever would win would be in talks to be a contender for the championship. But it could be argued that the other match is the same, Oni versus Daivari, although Daivari just lost to Tony Nese, so I don't know. Anyway, I think Tozawa versus Gulak is the match of the week so far. Yeah, looking back on my notes for the other shows, I'd say that's very solidly the case. I have not watched NXT UK. I did see some spoilers. Just one spoiler for the main event, which is the quadruple threat, the fatal 4-way to determine who will fight Walter next. But I'm still excited to watch that episode. The regular episode of NXT is, I know it's like mostly going to be a recap of TakeOver 25, and then just 2 matches that were filmed before that, I believe. Mia Yim versus Bianca Belair, a rematch there, I believe it was. And then Kona Reeves versus, is it Reeve or Reeves? Kona Reeve? Kona Reeves. I could easily look that up, but I'm not going to. I'm like in a comfortable position with my eyes closed and not holding anything in my hands, so I don't really want to move. Anyway, Kona Reeves versus Keith Lee is the other match, I believe. So I will do an episode about that when I watch them. I'm not sure when. I'll probably watch them at the hotel after I've finished everything for the day, all the travel, all of the setting up, all of the business licensing division of the city, all that type of stuff. There, that's one of the things that you might not, if you're getting into going to like conventions and stuff to sell things, whether you're an artist or you're a retailer or whatnot. Like if you have a bunch of old comic books, you want to start a comic book selling business, that type of stuff. Something that it might not occur to you is that you have to register in every state for sales and use tax. So you have like a tax ID number, and so you can file your taxes for that, and you can send in your payment for that, all of that. And it's very different. It can be some states are more similar than others, but it can be very different for every state. And it can also be there specific instances of where you also have to deal with the city itself to be operating a business at a temporary location, that type of thing, which is the thing I have to deal with in Ogden for this weekend. So yeah, a little bit annoying. I have to do it like in person and stuff, I guess. I don't know, but anyway, I'll let you know how all of that goes in a future episode, probably the episode about Super Showdown and talking about this convention. So stay tuned for all of that. I think this might, I'm going to do at least a Swamp Thing episode, hopefully, before the convention, and then, and also the NXT episode. So stay tuned for all of that. Let me know what you thought about SmackDown 205 Live and Godzilla King of the Monsters by tweeting me at TIW Podcast. Go to TIWpodcast.com for more reviews. If you enjoyed this episode or anything else on the site, please share some links with your friends. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you like to listen. And most importantly, stay safe out there in all of the infinite multiverses. And I'll see you next time here on TIW Podcast. Bye.